Episode of Motivation on Demand. Let me say that again. Welcome, it's Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Motivation on Demand. My name is John Guyton. I'm back in the studio today, and Ethan's back. Shout out to Ethan. Now he can hit the buttons, and I don't have to worry about hitting the buttons. I'm back in my happy place. This is where I want to be. I want to be in the spot where I'm just talking. I don't have to hit the buttons or worry about stuff. I can just do what I do. So that's where we are. Yeah, we feeling good. So if you're new to Motivation on Demand, welcome. It's going to be interesting. If you're not new and you're returning, welcome back. Here's how it goes. If you're watching this live, for some reason, people on LinkedIn have trouble figuring out if it's live or not. So I get words after the fact. But if you're watching this live right now, Friday at, 2:52? If you're watching this live, right, 2:52 Central Time. If you're watching this live right now, then you can go ahead and just get in the comments right now and just give me a word, a request, something you want me to talk about. And I'll throw it into the talk. I will turn it into a talk on the spot without any preparation. Literally, as soon as the song is over, I'm just going to jump in. So that's all we're going to do. So jump in. Doesn't matter if you can comment from Facebook, you can comment from LinkedIn, you can comment from YouTube, and you can comment from Instagram. There are lots of different ways. So I know there's folks watching from different spots. You throw the word in, and I'll say it. That's how that goes. Yeah, pretty interesting. I gotta look that up. Paucity. Let's see here. Yeah, you need to define that there, Ethan. Paucity. Okay, here we go. Paucity. If nobody defines it in the comments, this is going to be interesting. Paucity. Let's see. Okay. Paucity. Got it? Okay. Paucity. I don't know what that means. But I'm going to say it. Paucity standard. Okay, we got this. Let's go. All right, so we're going to talk today. And look, if you put comments in as I'm beginning the talk, if I see it, I'm going to say it. All right? So let's just make that clear. But I want to talk to you today about standards. Right? What are your non-negotiables? Your non-negotiables. What are your standards? What are the things that really, really matter? I was in high school, and I had a pretty good group of friends, and they're all pretty darn successful, pretty smart. I hung out with really good students. They went on to MIT and Pepperdine and UCLA. And I mean, it was a very studious group of students. Now, I played sports my whole life, and I was a student as well. And, of course, I went to the University of Colorado. Go Buffs. But we're not talking about college right now. We're talking about high school. So I'm in high school, and I've got a friend, Timitope. Shout out to Timitope. He might even be watching. And his family, they're a Nigerian family. More specifically, Yoruba. There are two different main tribes. There's Igbo and there's Yoruba, and it's a very, very specific difference. Anyway, here we are, friends, just doing our thing, just being friends and all that, hanging out. And report cards come out. And I got my report card, and there it is. 3.3, I think it was actually a 3.33. 3.3 GPA, right? 3.3. I'm like, okay, cool. My dad comes home, and I told him, here's my report card. He said, well, what do you got? I got A's and B's. I got a 3.3. He says, good. Good job. Then I went to Timitope's house. Now, the difference between my GPA and his GPA, he had a 4.95 academic GPA. 4.95. If you're not even if you're curious how that even happens, when you take the gifted courses, which I did for one semester, and then I got kicked out because I wasn't applying myself the way that they wanted me to. But when you take these courses, a C is a B is an A is a, I don't know, worth 5 points. It's a super A, right? So you can get a 5.0 if you were there. The unweighted A of football is what brought his GPA down to 4.95. I mean, that's how smart this guy is. Anyway, so I'm at his house, and somehow we got on to talking about grades. And he says, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He said, how are your grades? And I said, great. He goes, what did you get? And I pulled it out. I said, I got proudly, I got a 3.3. And as soon as I said I got 3.3, he looked over like this, and he just wanted to make sure you heard me okay. And he goes, what did you say? I said, I got 3.3. He said, why are you doing so poorly? What is wrong? I was like looking around like, what do you mean what's wrong? I got 3.3. He goes, you are doing poor. Why are you doing so poorly? I was shocked. What do you mean, why am I doing poorly? I got 3.3. I only needed 2.0 to play sports. And the 3.0, that's B's and A's, right? Mostly B's and a couple of A's in there. What do you mean? Why am I doing so poorly? And I told Tim and Topi about this. And he just kind of shrugged and goes, oh, yeah, that's the standard. That's the standard. He said, if I would have brought your report card home, I'd have been in, I can't even imagine the trouble that I'd been in. I can't imagine the disappointment on my parents' face if I brought home your GPA. I'm like, dang, tell me how you really feel. It's not about feeling. It's about standards. I brought home a 3.3. I was happy about that. My dad seemed fine with that. Good job, it's A's and B's. Mostly B's, but a couple of A's in there. But in that household, right, in Tim and Topi's household, you don't bring B's home. The standard is different. But it's not just an expectation of the report card. It's the command of what you're learning. You know where I'd hang out with Tim and Tope? The library. That's where we'd hang out. And it took me years to realize that whenever I said, hey man, let's hang out, he said, well, we can meet at the library. Because he knew what was at stake. Because his family had established standards. It's not that I couldn't have gotten a 4.0 GPA. It's not that I couldn't have gotten all A's. I didn't, because that wasn't the standard in my household. It was acceptable. It was okay for me to have what I had. And so that's what I did. And then a lot of times in life, you have to ask yourself, what standards are you establishing for yourself, for your family, for your employees, for you entrepreneurs out there, for your clients? If you're training someone, what are the standards that you put in front of them? And are they the same standards you put for yourself? His study habits were so much more than mine. He would study during the summer. During the summer, he'd study 15 hours a week. You know how much I studied in the summer? Hold on, let me do the math here. Studied in the summer, carried over nothing, zero. I didn't study in the summer. So it's not a surprise that he's got a 4.95 and I got a 3.3, but it's not just about the numbers, it's what comes with that. On to college. He went to MIT. I went to University of Colorado. Shout out to the Buffs, but to know MIT, the reading requirement was multiples higher. The study requirement was multiples higher. The expectation was so much higher. The standard was so much higher. Now, I don't want you to go out and just set arbitrary standards for yourself. I want you to be specific. Be specific with what the heck you're trying to do. What do you want to do? And what standards need to be set in order for you to reach that? You can't just say, I want to go to MIT, or I want to be a rocket scientist, or I want to be an ER doctor. and just wing it through school and expect that to be the case. You want to be a comedian? What's the standard for you to do that? You want to open up a gym? What's the standard you must have to do that? What's the standard? What is it that you won't accept? What is it that you'll look at and say, that's not good enough? Perspective is everything. How does one report card make one dad smile and another dad frown? It's the same report card, but it's looked at in two different ways. The things in your life are the things in your life, but how you look at them, how you look at the things around you, how you perceive that, that's the whole ball game. So my challenge to you is understand what your standard and apply yourself and figure out what is your standard. What is the unacceptable level? What's an acceptable level? It's not about your feelings. It's not about emotions. It's not about who said what. It's not about what they think. It's not even about what you think. It's about the standard. You know, in my household, it's about attitude and effort, because those are the things that you can control. What are the things that you can control? What are the things in your world that you can control, and are you controlling them? Because if you're not, this is your opportunity right now. As you're watching this right now, this is your opportunity to start setting standards that you can adhere to, standards that you live by, standards that you gauge your success on, right? Whether it's you want to open up a place called Paw City, whether you want to go to Colorado College, the standards are what matter, or else you'll never get there. See what I did there? I didn't really know what Paw City meant, and I couldn't use it in the doggone, I don't know what it means. Let me know in the comments what the heck it means. So I figured I'd just say Paw City, because you see what I did there? Because it sounds like Paw City, right? Paw City. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to open up like a place, like, you know, they sell dog food and treats and snacks. Paw City. You see what I did there? Yeah. It means scarcity. Okay, well, now I know. That's pretty fancy. Pretty fancy town. Fancier than I've got. Maybe if I had a 4.95 and I had a 3.3, I'd know what Paw City meant, right? Well, look, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Pretty fantastic. Fantastic to see you there doing your thing. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate you being here. This was, if you came late and you're like, what the heck did I just watch? It's Motivation on Demand. You say the words, I say the words. You type them in the comments and I say them here and try to make it make sense. Yeah, so don't have a paucity mindset. Let's think abundantly and let's go forth and prosper. Have some standards, y'all. Set them. Don't be scared about standards. Go ahead and set them. Yeah, so, yeah, good deal. All right. This is good. I'll let y'all later. I'm going to write on this piece of paper until the live stream ends. All right. Peace out. All right, we're going to go here. Haven't played that in a minute. Go like this. Bam. All right.